and price of ingratitude. Omoyele Sowore, publisher of Sahara Reporters and leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, have a lot in common. Apart from advocating radical changes in Nigeria for which they were both arrested and detained by the state at different times, their bail conditions were among the most stringent in Nigerian judiciary history. Omoyele Sowore is an online publisher activist and former presidential candidate who was on August 2019 Sowore arrested by the Department of Security Services (DSS) for his protest tagged Revolution Now. Weeks before his arrest, Sowore had met with Nnamdi in public glare overseas, ostensibly to share ideas. The essence of that ominous meeting was not lost on the Nigerian state. The DSS alleged that Sowore, while declaring revolution now, had promised that the Buhari government would be swept away sooner and DSS would be a thing of the past. Like Nnamdi Kanu, Sowore was picked up in a hotel in Lagos. Flashback: Nnamdi Kanu before his arrest in Lagos in 2015, after some campaigns for Biafra abroad, had declared he was returning to Nigeria and that he would bring hell with him. He was predictably picked up and processed to Kuje prison for what turned out to be a long sojourn. Several events followed, culminating in Operation Python Dance 2, which provided Kanu the smokescreen to disappear from Nigeria around September 14, 2017, only to resurface in Israel a year later. Following his first public appearance in Jerusalem, Nnamdi Kanu declared again, "I am coming back to Biafra land soon and I will bring hell with me." The way it has never been seen before. Is actually mimicking a historic line delivered by Kurt Russell in the film Tombstone when he played frontiersman Whiter Hep, because it reverberates with history. Wyatt warned the Western gang, the Cowboys, that he was going after them and hell is coming with me, according to what he said. But as Nnamdi Kanu any plan or capacity to bring hell with him to Nigeria, that is a matter for another day. The forthcoming burial of his mother would not doubt test that resolve and capacity. For today, fast forward to Sowore, who shortly after his tutorials with Nnamdi Kanu declared revolution now abroad and fixed a date against all known canons of revolutionary struggle to launch it. Revolutions have always been spontaneous, taking both men too seriously and responding to their loaf is nothing but a failure of intelligence. For if the nation's intelligence community was on top of their game, they would easily discover that neither Kanu or Sowore posed grave danger to the state, and the best response would have been to ignore them. They would have fizzled out naturally, but the rash response of the state to their rather benign activism has given them wings to fly and clothe both men in the robes they hardly deserved. Meanwhile, there is also one issue that needed to be put in perspective: their stringent base conditions and how both men grappled with meeting them. In a brief ruling on Kanu's bail, Justice Binta Nyako said that she was convinced that Kanu was ill and needed more medical attention than the Nigerian prisons was giving him. At worst, Nnamdi Kanu has appealed to the court for bail based on health grounds, and it is only the living that can stand trial. So I am minded to grant him bail so that he can attend to his health and face his trial alive. She, however, gave 12 stringent conditions which Mr. Kanu must meet to be released on bail. Some of the conditions were: Kanu must not hold rallies, he must not grant interviews, he must not be in a crowd of more than 10 people, and he must provide 3 sureties: a serving senator, a Jewish rabbi, and a renowned businessman, in the sum of 100 million naira each, and landed property in Abuja, among others. At the best of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Mr. Vincent Obita, the Deputy Senate President of Nigeria, Ike Kuremadu, as he then was, convened a meeting in his residence to rescue Nnamdi Kanu. It was obvious the IPOB family could do nothing. The bail conditions were way beyond them. Ekuremadu and other Igbo political leaders, especially the Southeast governors who gathered in his house, had reasons it was important to remove the Igbo youth from harm's way. In fact, the Southeast senators had also earlier visited President Buhari in November 2016 to appeal for Kanu's release to restore calm in their region. So, with the judicial window presenting itself, the Herculean conditions were met and Kanu walked out of Kuje prison. However, Kanu's willful violation of his bail conditions started from the room where Abaribe signed the bail bond to the point where he was confronted by Operation Python Dance and vanished into thin air, most likely what he had always plotted. Omoyele Sowore is facing a similar trial and his trial has commenced, and luckily his bail was granted much sooner, but he has failed to meet his bail conditions, which are much less stringent than those of Nnamdi Kanu. For the avoidance of doubt, the presiding judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja, Justice Ijoma Ojukwu, granted bail to Omoyele Sowore in the sum of 100 million naira, two shorties in like sum. The shorties, who must be resident in Abuja, must also have landed prop assets worth the bail sum in Abuja, and they are to deposit the original title documents of the asset with the court. The judge also ordered him to deposit the sum of 50 million naira in the account of the court as security. Like Nnamdi Kanu, Sowore was barred from addressing any rally pending the conclusion of his trial on charges of treasonable felony, among others. She also barred Sowore from traveling out of Abuja and the second defendant out of Oshogbo during the trial. Sowore has so far failed to meet the bail conditions. The judge has reviewed the conditions downward, and yet Sowore is still behind bars. Even the trial judge could not hide her embarrassment over Showore's failure to meet his bail conditions. Some commentators also lashed out at the Yoruba for this. However, one does not believe that the whole Yoruba nation cannot rally to meet the bail conditions. Fact is, nobody is prepared to take the risk taken by Ike Ekweremadu and co. and incur the wrath of the repressive state as they did and grievously suffered for it. And nobody wants to be rewarded for such risk the way Kanu and his boys rewarded Ekweremadu in Nuremberg, Germany. Indeed, Ekweremadu's Nuremberg treatment by IPOP is better appreciated in the face of the Sowore experience. The Igbo say, this person is talking about the chicken does not forget the person that plucks off its diseased feathers in the rainy season. Sadly, gratitude is far from Kanu and his misguided lieutenants, as urine is aligned to the chicken. Nnamdi Kanu's faction of IPOB needs to read the portion over and over again in the light of Showore's bail to appreciate what sacrifices people made and what could have become of Kanu and the struggle of Ekweremadu, Abaribe, Southeast governors, Osita Chidoka, and a few others did not stick their neck out. In the words of Kanu's ex-lawyer, Innocent Obita, said, "Once I got the two bails at the magistrate and high court, it was so obvious that the federal government was not going to release Nnamdi Kanu or to obey the court's other judgments in that respect. I became very frustrated and I had to resort to Igbo leaders. But unfortunately, most of the persons I reached out to did not listen to me until I contacted Ekweremadu. That was when Ekweremadu threw caution to the wind and graciously agreed to help. He quickly called a meeting of Southeast National Assembly, which precipitated to the bail. So therefore, there is every possibility that Nnamdi Kanu would still be languishing in Kuje prison. Biafra agitation and agitators alone could not have freed him. If Kanu and his boys doubt me, he should ask Ezazaki and the Shites. This government does not hear words. This obviously underscores the fury and disappointment at IPOP expressed by the likes of Abaribe, Obita, Chidoka, Ohaneze Ndigbo, etc. over the Nuremberg show of shame. Nevertheless, all said, Sowore cannot languish in detention forever. It is high time some men and women, especially of Yoruba extraction, develop the courts to come to his rescue as done for Kanu. His continued detention is becoming rather too embarrassing. This is written by Dr. Mefo. He's an Abuja-based forensic and social psychologist, author, and journalist. So, guys, that is what this journalist has written, Dr. Mefo. So, I think this article is not really too really updated because now Sowore has met his bail conditions, and the force now or everything now lies on the DSS and the federal government to release him. He made mention of some things, and it is people that will be able to, find balance to all that he has said. There's some places he's talking about how Nnamdi Kanu was released, the role and Madu played that maybe most of the IPOB members did not even get to know, and the kind of treatment given to Madu in Germany. And also maybe that is why some of the uh region, some of the people from the region Sowore came from are not ready to take that risk. But that being said, just like I said, now the man Sowore has already met the bail conditions. Everything is set, but it's left for the federal government and the DSS to release him. Maybe today is going to be released. We don't know the next step that will be done. Of course, the lawyer had already said, the father has said that he's going to go back to court concerning the disobedience of the court order by the DSS. So, guys, I would like to hear from you from what this writer has said. He's talking about Sowore and Kanu and price of ingratitude. Does he think that Nnamdi Kanu, is not grateful or whatever? You could see from all that he has said. So, guys, leave your comments below in the comment section. Thank you very much. Bye.